Good morning.
Morning. Good morning. Good
Just
morning.
like
Good
it,
morning.
just like it says in the description, it's a beautiful Sunday morning to swallow the homies.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. How about that?
Yeah,
How about that?
yeah. Oh, you know what? I know we said something about starting off with something else, but I actually wanted to throw out a big shout out and a big major congratulations to the man who's in here from Francisco Doc Shup on your premiere on Local Legends.
Hey, congratulations,
Uh,
Doc. Absolutely.
let
Congratulations.
me let me tell you, I was highly impressed with the production work that you did, the editing that you did. Major congratulations! We did share the episode on our page, guys, so make sure
Good.
you go check that out. It was so good. We got to get your host on. We got to get your host on, and then bring you back on. Maybe have the three of you on so you could talk about the show. But good work, good work. How was your week, Jay?
It was okay for the most part. I've been kind of running around getting stuff kind of done in my house. The army movers are coming tomorrow morning, basically. So I've got a couple small things left to do in the garage, and then that's basically it. Me and the girls are just going to tidy up a little bit today. They're not taking everything, so basically, I'm looking at all the furniture that was in our house that they're going to take. I'm literally looking at it. It's about 10 feet in front of me right now. I pulled it all into the living room, and just so they can get to it because they're not taking anything from the bedrooms or the bathrooms. So, and then they're going to go in the garage. There's a couple pieces of furniture in the garage and some box stuff, and that's it. And they're going to be here sometime between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. tomorrow, right? And that's it. And then I'll have a month to basically whatever they don't take, obviously what they're not taking. I've got a month to get rid of it and basically just start cleaning the house. So yeah, that was about the gist of my week. I really didn't do much other than dick around with my house and make sure the girls got to and from school on time. So that was basically it. So, John, I think you're on mute right now, brother. Can't hear you.
Oh yeah, yeah. I pressed the button. My apologies. Doc Shep says thank you, but the production company did the editing, and congratulations on your move, Jay. Sanchez eating ramen on the sneak tip. Look, guys, it's Sunday. Sunday, there are no rules.
John eats whatever the fuck he wants. Nobody he doesn't
Yeah,
care. John doesn't fucking
yeah,
care.
yeah.
He'll eat
It's
whatever the fuck he wants.
yeah. Look, man, it was so good. Man, but my week was actually pretty good. It's been dead at work. Like
Okay,
it's been a,
like dead.
but yesterday it started pouring inside my fucking truck.
I heard you. We were texting, weren't we?
Yeah,
About
and yo, I was I was putting the packages in the truck, and I see the hole up there, and I'm
right.
just like, oh, okay, that should be no problem. Next thing you know, I hear, whoosh, it's hailing outside, bro.
Right.
It's hailing. And we had a little tornado warning, which I was telling you about, and we had a nice little funny conversation about that, where I missed the experience of, you know, being borderline close to death, and
Close to death. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it just didn't happen for me, man.
It will
But
someday. Don't worry.
these storms have been getting so intense here in New Jersey. I don't know what the hell's going
I
on, but
imagine if there was a tornado, if there was a tornado warning, that means they spotted a cloud basically that probably illustrates movement in line with a tornado potentially about to form.
yeah,
So that's usually where tornado warnings come from. It's either a direct spotting of a tornado forming, or on the Doppler radar. There's usually telltale signs on Doppler that a cloud is exhibiting patterns that it's going to possibly become a tornadic cyclone basically. So
yeah.
the fact you got a tornado warning in New Jersey is kind of weird, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Like that is
Yeah,
kind of
I mean,
weird. Like
well, it wasn't even that long ago that we had a tornado touch down, not by me.
really.
You know, yeah, we did in fact have a tornado touch down not too far. I want to say it was a couple months ago. We had it during the summer.
And I'm
But
assuming this is becoming like more frequent, more
it's becoming
lately.
more frequent. Yeah, more lately,
Interesting.
it's becoming more frequent. I don't know what it is, man. Because
Hey
listen,
man,
I
Hey,
survived the blizzard in
there's no such thing.
'96.
There's no such thing as climate change. It's all a myth. Close your eyes, go back to sleep. All the scientists are lying. Okay, just because New Jersey's getting tornadoes all of a sudden, that doesn't mean shit, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's dude, it's fucking weird. And just like Doc says here, me and Shadow were hiking
it'll
when
come
that
quick.
storm came on. I
Mhm.
saw some hail in the beginning. That ish was crazy. It was
It,
crazy.
and it'll, and
It
it'll,
came down.
it can happen very quickly too. You can go from bright sunny skies to holy crap, we need to find shelter like within less than 10 minutes, depending on where you're at and how bad a storm is. So, like Doc was saying in our comments, he was hiking. I mean, if you go hiking, I don't care what time of year it is. Make sure you're taking some wet weather stuff. You know, at least a poncho or something. Always take something like that. You know, make sure you're
Yeah,
within within a decent enough shot of being able to protect yourself if you get snuck up on by a storm. So just take precautions. Anytime. Always
yeah.
make sure to check the weather.
Yeah, now
Before
you
you
did
doing
tell
stuff.
me, you told me to go below, like to go underground.
Yeah.
Target doesn't have an underground.
No, they don't. They probably don't, do they?
As
But
far
yeah,
as I'm concerned, the whole thing is underground.
I was going to say in that case, you just want to be on the ground floor. Basically, you don't want to be 5 or 6 stories
Yeah.
up,
I
stuff like
I
that.
will say though, like the area that I was in was probably the safest because where the truck my mom says I was driving to your house, I was scared.
I bet. I bet.
You know, so that how a truck docking station is. You know, you put
Mhm.
the truck in the back, so it's pretty.
Yep.
Once it's pretty much in there, it's kind of not moving depending on how much
Right.
space you have
Mhm.
in there. So I was pretty much in all the safest area of the whole building, I believe. You
Right.
know, unless something lifted the thing up and I was there with it, which would have been a hell of a ride. But hey,
You'd have to take a direct shot for something like that, probably.
again, that's two missed opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry, man. I mean, I'll let you know all about it once we get to Missouri and we're there for good. I'm sure I'm going to be seeing some of these storms like pretty fairly regularly. Starting next year.
Yeah.
So
Well, let's talk about Missouri real quick.
okay,
I mean, we've been talking about it. I mean, we talked about it amongst each other the last couple days.
we did.
And I started watching a show yesterday called Real PD Kansas City. It was
Okay.
literally like it came up. I was trying to figure out what to watch before I came to bed because we had just finished watching the Suicide Squad.
Okay. How's
We
that? How
finally
was that?
watched it.
Was that okay?
I'm a it, it,
You okay
it
with
was
it?
better than it was better. I was happy with it.
Okay. I've heard the second one is better than the first one. So I guess
Oh,
I
there's
mean,
more. There's more Easter eggs there. But yeah, it was really good. Suicide Squad. Let me tell you, I give it a
da, da, da,
eight
da,
point two.
eight
Eight point
point
two.
two. All right. All right. I can dig it. I can dig it. So tell me about
Missouri
this.
is the
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Missouri.
tell me about the cop show you're watching. So what's up
So
with the cop show?
man, this shit was intense. It was a commercial I saw. I was like, oh, Kansas City, why not?
Hell
Why
yeah.
not?
Mm-hmm.
So we watched it. It was really intense the first couple minutes, and the case involved a young girl who killed her stepfather.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and she ran. You
Mm-hmm.
know, she ran for a long time,
She was
and
hiding out in
yeah,
the metro area.
yeah. So and okay, so I'm gonna break this down for you as best as I could, and you could throw up that picture of Kansas City too because it's just so beautiful, man. There it is.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, there she is. There she is.
there it is. And
Absolutely.
so through the timeline, man gets killed.
Mm-hmm.
Daughter runs away.
Okay.
Has a girlfriend. The girlfriend, everyone knows who the girlfriend is. She has a parole hearing. She shows up at the parole hearing. Smart, right? That's the
Right.
smartest thing that she could do to go to the parole hearing.
Right.
She pretty much like gives the location of her girlfriend because at this point this we're talking about 18, 19-year-old kids at this point now,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And you know, the girl so the girl is leads the cops on a high-speed chase, right?
God damn.
Runs. Yeah, she leads them on a high-speed chase, right? The attorney calls the police. Oh, before this, she crashes her car into a truck and starts running into like the woods or something. Goes missing. The attorney calls and said, "We'll bring her in on Monday."
Right. Did they do it?
Look.
Did they bring her in?
They brought her in, and now let me
Huh.
tell you, it got me so angry because these police are doing everything that they could to go after this girl because she possibly has a weapon on her. They
Right.
haven't found the weapon yet, and she's going around, dude. It,
It gets
are you
pretty.
fucking?
It gets pretty crazy pretty quick, man. Like
You
when
know,
you think
what upset me is that you're putting these police officers in danger. You're putting
police
everybody
officers,
else in danger.
everybody on the road, like the whole nine. It's a very selfish life to live when you're on the run from the law. You know what I mean? Like you're living a very selfish life at that point.
Yeah,
Understandably so, obviously, but it's still pretty selfish, of a person to,
yeah.
you
So
know,
I
yeah,
so that went down. That went down. She turned herself in. She explained that the stepfather was being abusive towards the mom or whatever. Which, hey, understandable.
sure,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna play favorites. It's gonna be. I guess that's what the court of law is for, right? So,
Yeah, yeah. I
but
mean,
when you
it
when,
happened.
when you were watching this, were you seeing just different parts of Kansas City and
So I
just
saw the so parts. Okay, so the area outside the World War I area. It was like down below. It looked like a
yeah,
big park. It looked like they were having like a festival, like setting up
yeah,
for a
yeah.
festival.
That's
I
Union
saw it.
Station. That's Union
Yeah,
Station.
so Union Station was did show on the show very briefly. It
Okay.
was there. It was cool to look at, and man, I mean, anything that I see with Kansas City,
Hmm.
it just intrigues me. Since going there, I mean,
There it
I
is, right
even
there.
got we've even been in the with our producer about I keep telling him it's a beautiful place. The real estate is good, and then I just tell him, you know what? I shut up and I say, you know what? You just need to go there.
Yeah, I agree.
You just need to go there.
I have said for a long time, and I maintain that Kansas City, Missouri, is an extremely underrated city and metropolitan area. And now that Kansas City, Kansas, is starting to get really developed on its side, on the Kansas side, there's a lot more stuff to do on the Kansas side than there ever used to be. This is going. I'm going back probably a couple decades saying that, but there's a lot more stuff on the Kansas side now too. I always talk shit about Kansas, right? I hate Kansas and from Missouri and robble, right? But the reality is there didn't used to be anything on the Kansas side. Now there is. So not only do you have plenty to do, on the Missouri side of the metro area, you have a lot to do on the Kansas side now as well. And it's really just it's a very underrated city. You don't hear a lot of people bringing it up. You don't hear a lot of people going there to visit. But every time people do, they come away from it, kind of like really impressed and excited. If we're talking about places to eat and things to do, obviously Kansas City is very well known for its barbecue. So you're just gonna have to go through your staples, of Kansas City barbecue. So you're gonna have Gates. You're gonna have Arthur Bryan's. You're gonna have where do we eat? John, where do we eat again?
Jack
Jack
Stacks.
Stack. We ate a Jack Stack. There's a ton of places with a ton of different sauces with a ton of
Yep.
different meats for you to sample in Kansas City. That's
Yeah.
just for the food part of it.
Now
Uh,
remember, I gave Jack Stack a perfect 10.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm a guy that doesn't normally eat pulled pork. I'm a guy that normally doesn't eat chicken and like
Right.
really strong meats like that. But you saw me scarfing that meat down, bro.
Oh yeah.
And that
Absolutely.
was and to have a macaroni and cheese with
Mm-hmm.
barbecue sauce on top
Right.
I do it now all the time whenever I have mac and cheese. I
Right.
little drizzle. Now I have to say, I that Russ Tague barbecue sauce I had was by far amazing. The Canacue,
Good. I'm glad. I'm,
like
I'm glad
you
you.
know,
I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like
yeah,
it because
and
yeah, like
you know, and
and
let me tell you something.
there's really as far as Kansas City, as far as like the city itself, there's something there for everyone. They have amusement parks, they have sports, they've got stuff you can get your kids into. You know what I mean? It's a very typical city basically, but there is something there for everyone. It doesn't matter what your lifestyle is or what kind of family you do or don't have. There is something in Kansas City for everyone. So
There really is.
I always encourage people to
You
either
know,
to visit or to look into it or whatever. So
I cannot stop looking at the baseball pictures and like the footage and like it's just even the real estate. Like it's no secret that my family has no issue and is not against the fact of going to Kansas City.
Right.
It's not even finalized where we're even going to end up going within the
Right.
next within the next three
Year
to
two.
5 years.
Right.
You know, even a year or two. You know, it's still not determined. But the fact of the matter is, we haven't closed the door.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like that
And it
door
was,
is still open. Real estate, people, um, the people itself. I mean, there was something just so special about being around the people of Kansas City because there was a guy across from me that was eating.
mm-hmm.
He had a Yankees hat, and
Right.
we, you
Just kind of
know,
nodded at each other. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah, beautiful,
Absolutely.
yeah,
So it's I would say it's fair for the most part. It's fairly friendly out there. You know, if we're talking about social graces, you know what I mean. Like it's fairly friendly. There's
yeah.
a couple areas I wouldn't test that too much on, for the most part, people are pretty friendly or tend to be pretty friendly. So
I could imagine a concert is fucking great in Kansas City.
yes, they are. I've
Because
been
you
to.
were telling, what was that place you were telling me about?
There's the place that I went and saw Steel Panther. That was in downtown. That was in a auditorium downtown. Um,
Okay,
and then what else? Where else have I gone in Kansas City? Uh, shoot, I don't know. What was I telling you?
there was a venue or the Electric something.
That might have been it. I think that might have been where Steel Panther was. Give me a second.
Uh,
Oh,
yeah,
Power and Light. Power and Light.
Power and Light,
Power and
Power
Light.
and
Yeah,
Light.
that's down. Yeah, that's a different place, but that's downtown. That is also a concert venue, or they do sporting events there, or they'll show like the games on the big screens, there. And it's basically like it's an area of downtown Kansas City where you can just go bar
Yeah,
hopping. Basically, you can go clubbing.
C-
Me and
come
me and my girlfriend went and saw like dueling pianos there not too long ago. We got tickets to watch people do dueling pianos.
dueling.
That was it was like two pianos facing each other.
That's such a Kansas City thing.
Yeah, they take you give them like $5 and tell them like what song you want to hear, and if it's they'll play a song on the piano and they'll sing it. Like it was really cool. It's a really neat kind of experience. Go
Yeah.
have a couple drinks, watch people play piano and sing songs, and it's I don't know, it's kind of fun. So I enjoyed it.
So, all right. So now there was some NFL things that were going down
Yeah,
recently too. You know,
yeah,
not for someone like I've been keeping up. I've been trying to keep up with it. I'm pushing myself to like football again. You know, because it's a
it's
sport.
there's. I'll
Sports
tell
are
you what.
fun.
NFL,
But
the
what's
NFL is
going on?
trying. I'll tell you what, the NFL is definitely trying really hard to shoot itself even more in the dick than it has been lately. And like I understand why people like you kind of like gave up on it and just kind of walked away for a while. I get it because that's pretty much exactly what I'm going to be talking about right now. Is like there have been over the course of this year, there has been some incredibly terrible officiating and referee calls made over the course of this year. That happens every year. You're never going to get these 100% perfect referees or umpires or whatever in whatever sport you're watching. It's never going to be perfect. But this year it seemed to have been a little bit worse than average, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. It seems to be getting worse by the week. So last week there was a specific play where a player on the Bears bumped up against a ref, basically, but the ref kind of moved in his way, like so as for the player to hit him almost, and the ref was already going for the fucking yellow flag before the player even bumped into him. So it's like this ref kind of already knew what the hell, whatever. And then so like there's this big firestorm over it last couple days, all throughout this week. And so what does the NFL do? They double down on it. And they said, not only was the referee right, we're finding the player. So they took money from that player who bumped into the ref for
Okay,
basically not
so
like doing anything. Like the ref moved into his way, basically was already getting ready to throw the flag for him bumping into him. And then the league doubled down and said, the ref was correct. We're finding the player too. So they took money out of the player's pocket as well.
so
Like,
the referee got in the way of the motion,
yep.
threw the flag.
While he was already getting ready to pull the flag, by the way, too. Like you could see him going for the flag before the player even gets to him. Like it's pretty gross. Like how yeah, it's not cool. It's really really not cool. Like freaking you can put the fine Joe if you have some of that information if you want to put the fines up please do because that's like the fact that they took his
There it
money.
is.
I can't read that on my screen, so you guys will have to help me with that one. It'll be
Chandler Jones got fined $510,000 for uniform equipment violation. Holy
Or is that
shit!
10,000?
it's
10,000.
10,000.
Oh, I got four eyes and I still can't see.
Yeah,
Cassius,
Jordan Phillips roughing the passer. I know that one was kind of like everybody was questioning that one.
holy
Who's
cow!
who's the dude on the Bears? It's probably the taunting. It's probably that guy. Oh yeah, the $5,000. That was the dude that
Ca-
basically like
Cassius Marsh.
yeah. That was the dude had no business getting any money taken away from him at all. Like no business whatsoever. That dude should not have lost any money.
So
And
is this something that's going to get fought?
I think I don't know. The NFL Players Association doesn't really probably have as much power as they would like to have right now. There's double standards in the league. So there was a big thing with Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, because he got COVID and basically lied to, or he didn't lie directly. He lied by omitting information, basically that he was not vaccinated in the first place. So he's been playing the whole fucking time. He gets COVID and is out last weekend, and the
Pull it
fucking
up.
NFL basically shrugs when they've been given like hardcore strict guidelines to everybody else, and the NFL basically shrugged and said, "Fuck it," like we don't care. Like that's goddamn Aaron Rodgers. We're not fucking with him. You know what I mean? Like so, I don't fucking know, dude. Like it's the league is getting to a place where it's almost
Jesus.
gotten it's almost gotten too big. It's almost gotten the NFL has almost gotten too big, and it's starting to show serious signs of deterioration as far as quality of the games, corporate cocksucking and pandering. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's just
Look at that. So
it's not just the NFL anymore. It's like it's the whole fucking enchilada is just getting rotten. It's starting to become
yeah,
rotten. You know?
and as he had there, he makes $126,000, and they took 5,000 from him.
Right.
I mean, that's still a
It's a
chunk.
chunk.
I mean,
It's a chunk, and it adds up. And you saw some of those other fines like $10,000. I've seen fines. I've seen 6-figure fines in the NFL before. It does happen. It does take a chunk of your money, and it's one of those things where it might not take all your money, and you might still have a lot left over, but you still lost a big chunk of money. You know what I mean?
yeah, now, equipment violation is another big thing because does this deal with safety or does this deal with the
It's
customization of the equipment? Because
it's.
I know that was a big issue too.
I'd have to look up what his specific fine was for in that game. I'm not really tracking what the equipment violation was. I just know the complaining that I'm seeing on like the interwebs is basically that they are taking all the fun out of the fucking game, and it's getting hard to watch. Basically, it's like the game is getting harder to watch because it's basically like it's a 2 hour game stretched to 3 hours and blanketed with fucking every corporate jerk off fantasy you can fucking come up with for commercials. So it's like it's just the game is not as fun to watch anymore on TV. So basically the NFL as a product, the game as a product being brought to the masses probably needs some work, and they need to figure out fast like what their actual standards are for their not only for their refereeing and their officiating, but for the front office stuff. You know what I mean? Like with these teams where the head coach of the Raiders is just sued the NFL, or he just resigned. The head coach just resigned, but he basically sued the NFL saying that they blackmailed him using the emails. They got 650,000 emails from the Washington football team, formerly the Washington Redskins, and they used some of those emails to blackmail the former head coach of the Raiders, who is now suing the NFL for doing that. It's like it's getting a little scary, like what they're doing. Like the owners, the organization owners, and the NFL as an organization, it's getting a little scary what they're doing because they're basically saying like we can do whatever we want, and you guys just don't have that kind of power. You know what I mean? Anymore, the players don't have any power. You're just here. You're just here as long as you're here to play. Basically, is what the NFL is telling the players in
Okay.
so many words. So
Now to you now we're all military guys, and uniformity is a big thing for us.
sure.
So is it are you does it is it something that bothers you that maybe some players cannot customize some of their stuff?
I think there are things that players should be able to do just willy nilly, and it really shouldn't matter as much. Um, I am also kind of on the side of a little bit of uniformity. I don't think a little wearing a certain type of cleats on the field is a big deal. I don't think that wearing a certain type of gloves is a big deal. If your team allows it, I think you should be allowed to do it. What we've seen in a lot of times is the NFL telling players on different teams, you can't wear this or you have to wear that. Like, let's take a guy like me. Obviously, I'm never going to make it to the NFL, but if I did, I despise the color pink. I fucking hate it. Like, it's by far like my least favorite color. I don't like it. I understand why other people like it. I don't care if other people like it, but you're never going to fucking see me wearing pink, right? Ever. So what happens during the month of October when they do like breast cancer awareness? If I'm playing on a team, do I get forced to fucking wear pink when I don't fucking want to wear pink? It's shit like that where it's like how much power do the players actually have? And by the way, I don't want to make this sound like I'm just anti NFL ranting right now. Some of the fucking players in the NFL are some real cocksuckers, okay? So I don't want anybody to think that I'm just solely on the players side, because it's not just like that. It's some players got it coming to them, okay, in the NFL. But a lot of the players don't have a choice with much of anything because the NFL as an organization takes all that power away from them and out of their hands. So, yeah. Go ahead.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah,
interesting stuff. It's always interesting how there's always something going on in sports every single
every week.
season. You know,
Every season, every week, probably every game nowadays. It's like
so someone's gonna get arrested.
yep,
Some shit's gonna go down every
yep,
season.
yep.
It's so interesting to me how sports always finds its way to be relevant outside of sports.
That's right. That's when Gruden, the head coach of the Raiders, very very suddenly resigned. Like that just happened like within the last 2 weeks. Like
Oh
it's
shit! I didn't even
extremely
know that.
fresh. Extremely fresh. Like last 2-3 weeks. Like it's extremely fresh. Like that's Gruden. Like so that dude just as of yesterday sued the NFL basically for what amounts to blackmail. Like as long as he can prove it, like which I think he's got a pretty strong case actually, because there's 650,000 emails and only a few of them made it to the papers and they all had to do with him. Right.
Fuck.
So yeah. Yeah. It's getting pretty sketchy, dude. People are doing some sketchy stuff in the NFL, man, and that's the referees making terrible fucking calls that could potentially affect the outcome of a game is only one part of it. It's only one part of it. So yeah.
Shit. Yep. And next we have the division.
Okay.
I am so excited about this movie. It has Jake Gyllenhaal
Cool.
and
Like him.
and Jessica Chastain. I
Okay.
think this is a good match for these two to do this. Yep, there they are, right there.
Okay.
Dude, I can't be any more excited for this, to be honest with you. Hopefully they stick with the New York story.
Did you play the game when it was out? Like was
I
that
did.
did you
I
enjoy
did.
it?
If I loved it. In fact, I played with our producer here a couple years ago. We played it. We rocked that
Okay.
game a few times. Didn't we play it? Did we play it?
We didn't. No, we didn't. We
I
didn't.
think I may have. I think I may have played with Chance at one point.
You probably that sounds more up the alley of
Yeah,
reality.
it's actually it's not a bad game. So you remember Ghost Recon? Ghost
Yeah.
Recon.
Mhm.
We did play that. You gave it a shot. You
I did.
actually did enjoy it, but there was just so much going on that you were trying to understand.
Yeah.
You
That
know?
was one of Ghost Recon was one of those games where I enjoy it and I can see myself getting a little bit more into it. But there is a lot going on, and it's one of those games. It's not like riding a bike. Like if you stop
Yeah.
playing that game for a day, you're gonna lose like a lot. And getting the control scheme back down and doing things that require better timing and stuff like that. It's like that's a game you have to put time into. Like you've got to play that game,
Yeah.
a lot to
Yeah.
get really good at it. It is a fun
and
game
this
though. It is a fun game.
and the same goes to say with the division. Now the division, yeah, Breakpoint. That's the name of the game. Thank you, Joe.
Breakpoint.
I actually got Joe to buy that game. I convinced him to buy that game.
That's
I
awesome.
convinced a lot of people. I convinced you to play the game too. You know,
Yes.
I
you
love
played
that
it.
damn game, dude. That game was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's a
you
fun
know,
game. I'm not gonna lie. It was a fun. I was not the greatest at it, but again, that's a game you kind of need to play over and over, like every day, almost, to get really, really good at it and be really kick ass at that game. Or you're just one of those video gamers that just is naturally good at gaming. Because like I
yeah.
couldn't keep up with a lot of the teams we were matched against, even our own people on our team. I couldn't hold a candle to like any of those motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and I have to bring this up too because we convinced our boy Gio Kobalis, who was a guest on our show, to get the game.
Okay.
Not only did he buy the game, he beat the game in a matter of 9 hours.
Damn. Oh, that's the one we've talked about that on here before. Yeah.
Yeah, he
So it
beat
was
the-
Breakpoint.
Yeah, he and but anyway, Division, Division was a simpler version of the Ghost Recon games where it's a little more, there's not so many things going on. You're doing more weapon customizations, but the game was fantastic. It had a fantastic storyline, and dare I say, would they be wrong for adding the coronavirus into this? Like, it would be.
It could work for an epidemic. I mean, it could. I mean, we had a pandemic. We had a pandemic last year. I just saw something today that current models project that the coronavirus could last up to 5 years because of like how kind of badly it was handled. So like we could be dealing with corona for the next 3 to 5 years anyways.
Yeah, Joe, you are right. Resident Evil is technically an epidemic as well. Like that was considered, a virus.
Biohazard. Yeah, it's a biohazard. Yeah.
So I mean, we're going to be dealing with the same thing in the Division. And first off, I mean, I'm such a fan of Jake Gyllenhaal. I mean, the guy, we're talking about Donnie Darko. We're talking about Jarhead.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be in the movie. He just did this movie that's on Netflix now where he's a dispatch, like a 911 dispatcher.
Mm-hmm.
Not dispatcher, like a 911 caller operator.
Yeah.
And that movie was... Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. So that movie was so good. Go check out that movie too. But he's also going to be in a movie called Ambulance, which looks fucking fantastic. But now he's going to be doing Division, and the director of the Division did say that Gyllenhaal and Chastain are heavily dedicated to this story. They are probably fans of the game. They have to be aware of the game. So and video game movies and comic book movies right now are in some kind of a renaissance right now. So I have high hopes for this, and I'm very excited to see what this can turn into.
I think it's entirely possible that this could be a good movie for sure. And as with a lot of other comic book or video game movies or what have you, it's really just going to come down to the writing, like the script, and whether or not the actors sell us on it. Basically, they're going to have to sell us the Division, basically, which is fine, So.
I'm already halfway there.
Joe, if you want to pull up the plot. So it'll be
what do we got here?
Black Friday in New York City, bioterrorists release a modified strain of smallpox called the green poison, blah blah blah. Result of the disease spreading rapidly, blah blah blah. Escaped inmates from Rikers, cleaners, mobilized well, it sounds interesting. It sounds interesting.
Wow. So they got like actual like clans up in there and shit, like different types of people like fighting this virus. And what really made can you pull that back up real quick? This was interesting to me right here. A smallpox called the green poison onto several amounts of currency bills. How fucking
ingenious.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, we already know. I mean, look, how many traces of cocaine are in dollar bills today?
They don't. It's like almost 100%.
Yeah.
Like they basically it's more rare to find a piece of currency in the United States that does not have trace amounts of cocaine on it. It's more rare.
They are.
So yes, especially on 20s.
Yeah, and Joe, you're right. Really sticking to the game lore. It's true, and if they're sticking to this, they're gonna show. I think they're gonna show up. Netflix is gonna show up. They have been on fire. Squid Game, Dark,
Oh yeah.
Alice in Borderland. Like
Speaking
it's.
of TV shows, I did in fact start Yellowstone this week. So
Oh,
um,
what you think about that?
I like it. I mean, it's got me hooked so far. I mean, it is a drama, and parts of it are very slow burn. Okay, if you can imagine, like it's kind of a Sons of Anarchy and freaking Sons of Anarchy in freaking Montana. You know, if you can imagine that, like it's basically like it's this family that owns this big ranch. You know, and like Kevin Costner's the patriarch, obviously. Lot of family drama, a lot of drama in general, you know. But you've got your cowboy fights and your fist fights and your bronco busting, you know, cowboy stuff. It's like modern day cowboy stuff. So it's a drama. I enjoyed it. It's kind of a slow burn. I think my girlfriend Nikki, she's kind of iffy on it. She's not as huge a fan of those types of shows, but she's sticking it out for now. I enjoy it. I think we just hit the middle of season 2, I think last night. And yeah, I've enjoyed it. I mean, I'll have to let you know if it's once I get caught up with everything they've released at this point. If I think it's like kind of worth the squeeze or worth waiting for the next season, but so far so good. So far so good. So yeah.
Yeah, what makes me interested in this show is, well, first, Yellowstone is such a huge fucking property. So there, I mean, so from what I understand, the story is like property fighting, right? Like they're fighting for
Yeah.
property.
Basically the Yellowstone Ranch is like the size of like Rhode Island, basically, in Montana.
Oh,
So they have a metric shit ton of land, but trying to work that land and trying to be a rancher and like all that stuff. And this is going throughout the generations. You know, this is just the current generation of this family. You know, like it's not as easy as everybody thinks, and it's you know they're cowboys basically. And then there's of course political stuff going on in the background. You know, there's all this political stuff, and like it's a drama. You know what I mean? So it's like it's one problem after another. You know, throughout the show. Obviously, it's a very typical drama, but it's basically Sons of Anarchy goes to the Wild West in modern days, right?
there
Like
it is.
it's basically what it is.
Well, you know what? I think because listen, I've always been intrigued in watching the show myself, so I think I myself am going to give it a shot. Shit, I probably give it a shot today. I ain't got shit to do but play
Basically,
Forza. Oh, yep.
the pilot episode, the episode 1 of season 1 is an hour and a half. It's a fucking hour and a half long. Okay, so you know, almost all the other
Watching a
episodes
movie.
are. Yeah, almost all the other episodes are between 45 minutes and an hour. That the very first episode is like an hour and a half. So just be prepared for that. It's like you're going to be watching a fucking movie, basically. You know, for
I'm,
first episode.
I am a fucking body, and I love Kevin Costner because
He does a really good job. He plays
clean.
a very his character, and his character is this is not your typical Kevin Costner. He's the man's man. He's the patriarch of his family, and he can be a real son of a bitch if he needs to.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And this is not your typical Kevin Costner. He's a lot more colder. He's a lot
Cool.
colder, a lot more unfeeling.
Cool.
You know, like he's a patriarch
because
of a major fucking ranch, so he kind of has to be that much of a fucking man, basically, or like whatever. You know,
yeah, and I'm a sucker for Kevin Costner because I'm going to give you a Sanchez flash fact number 62.
There we go. I never saw
Robin
Hatfield
Hood.
McCoy's, so
I never watched it either. But my favorite Kevin Costner movie is Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Oh, interesting. I remember that movie.
Yeah, yeah, and it's actually funny because they said the movie was so bad because they wanted him to do a British accent and he couldn't do a British accent, so they were just
Right.
like, "Fuck it, just." But
sound like
But you know who was originally set to star as Robin Hood in that movie?
who?
Robin Hood from Men in Tights.
Oh, Carrie Oles.
Yeah, he was in line to play the original Robin Hood. But anyways, let's get into the next thing here. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, look, my mom even wrote it. Robin Hood, she knows.
I love that. I remember being. I was that movie came out when I was. I don't know, fucking whatever.
It
But
came, it came out in 1989, and Brian Adams came out with the song "Everything
yeah,
I Do It for
everything
You."
I
Yeah,
do. Yes, I was a kid, but I remember
yeah.
enjoying that movie
He
when I was
goes,
a kid.
I do it for you."
Right, right, and you know what, dude? Like, and I remember. You know what I wanted to do? I wanted to go into the Sherwood Forest and
Yeah,
that whole area like built up in the trees and shit. I thought like when I was like 8, 9 years old, I thought that was the coolest fucking thing ever. Was like living in the forest in the trees like that. You know,
yeah, and it's so interesting because they think the lore. Oh god, we're getting into Robin Hood talk on the next
this is how,
episode of the deep dive.
yeah, this is how we end up rabbit trailing.
My mom. That's when John started his singing. Yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
superstar, guys. I'm a superstar. Uh, yeah,
Thank you,
this.
Brian Adams.
Yeah. Okay, so next is Forza Horizon
All right.
5.
So let's talk about it.
All right, so
I know you were excited about it. I know you got Joe kind of sucked into it. So tell me about it. What were your
well,
thoughts? What was,
what's actually funny, Joe is actually more into Forza Motorsport. He wasn't really so he from what I understand, our producer played more of the Motorsport series than he did the Horizon.
okay.
I think because the Motorsport series was more of a race environment than
Hmm.
Horizon, which is more of an outdoorsy dirt dirt
Let me help
racing
you
type
here.
of experience. Yes, please,
I
please.
I wanted to do. I like Forza Motorsport 7 or any of the Motorsport series due to the fact that it was more simulation based racing and driving and tuning, whereas Horizon series seems more arcadey, maybe tailored towards a younger generation, flashy or whatever. But as I'm getting older here, I'm realizing the value and how relaxing it is to play that game, not so like, oh my god, jarring all the time.
How long have you been playing it, Joe?
Oh, I was just talking to our boy Edie. We're going back to pre-deployment
Third
days.
ID
So
stand up.
yeah, man, I was in
Right.
Kuwait with him. We would stay up all night playing Forza Motorsport 4 on
Okay.
his Xbox and just having a good old time.
Good shit, man.
Yeah,
Good shit.
yeah. So what I mean, one thing that really made a difference for me, and I'm pretty much going to start off with this, was the menu. The menu of the game was it was so in Forza Horizon 4, the menu was there was like 20 tabs, and in each tab there was like 30 different buttons for different things to do. It was too much. It was confusing.
So how's this one then?
The menu is much more manageable.
Okay.
It's much more manageable. There's less menus, less tabs, and it helps you really direct where you want to do. So if you want to do a race, now you could just click one thing and it puts you directly into a race. If you want to do drifting, you can put it right there. You can click it. It's right
Right.
there. They did a really good job with the menu. That's probably one of their best improvements. Vehicle selection at launch is pretty good. I mean, you have the car pack, which comes with different cars, including Hot Wheels cars that you can drive in the game. Who doesn't like a Hot Wheels car? I thought that was pretty cool. Visually, I don't. Last time with Forza Horizon 4, I didn't think they could do anything better. Yeah, look at these are the launch cars right here.
Okay.
The Zaruno 18, the Subaru 22B, the Radical RXC, and the Honda Civic 84. Uh, oh wait, November 11th. Oh yeah, yeah. These vehicles are available now in the game, and let me tell you, if you're playing on the wheel, it's fun. If you're
Okay.
playing on the controller, it's fun. I played it on both. I had a good time. I didn't have an issue with either of it. Trying to get used to the drifting while with the wheel is kind of difficult, but dude, it was great. Were there any glitches, Joe? You tell me. Okay, let's talk about the DeLorean hack. So the DeLorean is in the game, but there is a way. Uh, Listen, I got the DeLorean for 15,000 credits in the game, where I think originally you could get it for it's a hell of a lot more, and it's even being auctioned off in the game for like 100,000 credits in the game. And look at that that's nice, that DeLorean livery right there. They did a good job. The DMC-12. Now, my take on the game visually, I didn't think that they could do better than 4. Forza Horizon 4 looked beautiful. It looked very beautiful. Forza Horizon 5 looks even better. And I'm not talking about by a little bit. I'm talking about by a lot. The game takes place in Mexico, and like even through the screenshot that's being shown right here, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I have a really good time with the game. So one thing that was really cool that was pointed out to me by our producer was that the wings on the vehicles, some of the wings, the dust storm. I'll get to that. Keep that picture up with the dust storm. Shit, I fucking lost my train of thought.
God damn it, John. I was starting to I could see, I could like kind of hear your mind drifting, because I was like, wait, what's he getting at? What's he getting at? And then you're like,
Okay.
Oh, you lost it.
There it is. Oh, the wings. Okay, so the wings, when you're hitting depending if you're hitting the gas or the brakes, you see the wings moving on the back of the car to help with the movement of the car.
Like it actually would.
When you hit 1,000, when you hit 1,009 miles per hour, Joe.
1,000? 1,000? Is it 1,000 though?
Fat fingering.
He says it's 100. Okay. Fat finger motherfucker.
When it hits 100, the wing start.
The dust storm.
It's pretty interesting. Okay, so the dust storm is pretty cool. So we know that in Battlefield 2042, you could like fly into the dust storm. Which, Jay, are we gonna go dust storming riding, bro? We're gonna ride that tornado, bro.
I'm not sure. I'm seeing a lot of negativity on Battlefield right now.
Yeah, hang on to that thought.
I was gonna
hang on to that thought. We'll get. We're gonna get to that, just to add that in. But
good morning.
In Forza Horizon 5, the dust storm is actually pretty neat. It's a new dynamic that they have, and you have to race to it, and you have to race through it. And let me tell you, you go in, you're seeing the storm, you're just like, okay, this is pretty big. This is incredible. The mass scale of how big this storm is. And you're getting closer to it, and you're just like, there's no way that this is going to be as good as it looks. And the closer you get,
that's like, so growing up in Arizona and then having gone to Afghanistan 3 times, I've been in a few haboobs in my day. And they can be scary. They can be scary at times. Driving on an interstate when you can only see about 10 feet in front of you. You know what I mean? Like, and then or in Afghanistan where it's just like, you can't see shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were on a mission. We were on a mission on my last tour where we had to call it off because a haboob came in, a dust storm came in. And we were literally just doing a perimeter patrol of our base. So we weren't going anywhere we hadn't been before, but visibility got so bad it was hard to find the entrance to our. That's basically what it looks like.
Wow, look at that! Wow,
when you're in the middle of it, it's kind of like being in a fog, like a sandy fog, right? So you can only see for so many feet or meters or whatever, and the entrance to our fob, for where our trucks needed to go in, it was hard to fucking find that shit. I remember I think my vehicle was point vehicle on that mission. And so I was me and my driver were having to kind of creep and find the entrance to this, to our fob basically. But yeah, it's a sandy fog basically. That's what it looks like. And
that's got to be exciting to go through.
I don't know. In the moment, yeah. I mean, when you're 7,000 miles away from home in a foreign country fighting in a war, whether it's very kinetic or not, and a sandstorm comes up, you know what I mean? Like what do? You just button down the hatches basically and hope they try something stupid while the dust is up. right?
Does the dust like hurt when it hits you in the face? Like you have rocks flying at you and shit?
Yeah, it can. Yes, and it can become
Yeah.
very hard to breathe. You want to breathe through a some type of cloth. You don't want to be
Okay.
like just sitting like we are. You know what I mean? Like if you're in the middle of something like that, put something over your fucking mouth because you're obviously breathing particles and dust and God knows what the fuck else is blowing in through the air. That's part of that collective, that collective storm basically. So yes, always
Yeah.
cover
And
always cover your mouth in a haboob.
yeah,
So
now
mouth
now
and nose.
now before we get into Bethesda, let's talk real quick about Battlefield because I have been seeing the same things recently. Um
Have you played it?
I have not played it yet. I
Okay.
I have
I
not
haven't
played it
either.
yet.
I haven't either. So that's why I was kind of like, but what are some of the things you've been reading?
I've been reading that a lot of gameplay things from the beta are missing. I've been reading that. I there it is. Error, error,
Right.
error. I've been reading that it's very glitchy, which glitches are become a fucking normal thing now when these things
They
come
ebb
out because
yeah, they ebb and flow, and they'll probably release a fucking patch for the game, and it'll probably take care of it. So like whatever. I mean, I can deal with glitches. I get worried about, like you said, when I hear people complaining about the gameplay. That's when I start worrying. I'm like, that's okay. This is not a
yeah,
fun, this is not a fun first person shooter. So why
yeah,
would I
and and I
why would
and
I
I
waste why
did
would I waste my time on it? You know what I mean?
I
Like
did see people saying that they were not having fun because it's just one huge map. You're
right,
playing the same thing. You have other options through the portal and stuff like that, but no one is excited about things like that. You know what I mean?
right,
Um, we know there's no campaign, which I think is kind of blasphemous. I don't think everyone, there are still people who enjoy a good campaign, like
right,
myself.
right. Well, I
I
think I
I
think I
still
think a campaign can save a shitty multiplayer experience, or vice versa. A badass multiplayer experience can save a shitty campaign, but you can't have both. You can't have
yeah.
both, or nobody's gonna play your game. So I'm not entirely unsold on this game. I'm still holding out some hope. I'm waiting until I get some more. But most of what I've seen the last couple of weeks has been pretty fucking negative. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh
So
yeah. So as we're
say
gonna
that
hear
again.
from the
Yeah, go
from the
ahead.
from the from the producer files, IGN gives it a 7.5 out of 10. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard to execute any kind of real strategy since your team is so big and there's no
There's no
clear
clear
leader.
leader. Yeah, there's no
Which,
objective.
which
That makes sense. And for a massive multiplayer online game, that makes sense. There needs to be more objectives. Like at least in Call of Duty, you're on teams of like what, six, maybe 10 at the
yeah,
most. 10 is
six
10
to
is the most.
six, 6 to 10. Yeah,
6 to 10. And it's like you don't necessarily need a leader for that. You just need to fucking have some team cohesion. If your team
yeah.
is if your team is 100 fucking people, what's the fucking point? Like everybody's just gonna do whatever the fuck they
I
want to do
don't
anyways, you know?
listen. We've been in lobbies with 12 people that sound like there's 100. I don't even want to know what the fuck 100 people in the voice chat
That's a
sounds like.
bro, that's what I'm saying. Like how do you even I don't even know. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah, I mean they separate the parties.
I mean
They
cool,
they
but I don't I'll tell you what I need to do. I need to do a deep dive probably today. I need to do a deep dive and I need to watch some gameplay footage. I need to just sit there and watch somebody stream and
yeah
kind of watch what because honestly, like I've made reference to it many times on this podcast. You know, Modern Warfare was the first person shooter I played in well over a decade, like a little bit over a decade, basically. And the one that I played before that, I didn't play for very long. So I'm almost on like 2 decades where I just have not played very many first person shooter games, especially not against other actual people. You know what I mean? Like
yeah
online. And it's been 2000, 2008, 2009 is probably the last time I played a first person shooter against another actual person like online. Until Modern Warfare. Modern Warfare was awesome. Everything that's come out since Modern Warfare, fucking Cold War, what's the new Call of Duty? Is it what does it start with the V?
Vanguard.
Vanguard, Battlefield 2042. Like I haven't seen anything that's blowing everybody's skirt up, so I'm like, why would I fucking buy them? Why would I play them? You know what I mean?
And even I haven't watched anything for Vanguard. I haven't looked at anything for Vanguard. I have I'm not there. I'm just not there yet with Vanguard yet. But even then, that game itself just doesn't even seem to be good. I mean, does the I'm not even sure if the Ricochet anti shield even works in Vanguard yet, but you know, I'm even yawning. I'm tired of fucking talking about Call of Duty.
I don't know. I don't know. John, I apologize, man. And I apologize to all of our viewers too. Like, I got to step outside real quick. Somebody just like pulled up like in front of my house and is just idling. So give me like
Yeah,
15
yeah.
seconds. So I apologize.
Oh no, you're
John,
good. We'll have your
yeah.
camera on. Then when I see you come back, we'll bring you back in.
Okay. Yeah. You and Joe just hold it down for, give me about like 2 to 3 minutes, please.
Yeah, you got it,
Okay.
man. You got it. So yeah, so let's go into I'll get into Fallout when he comes back. But we were just talking about yeah, and this is the producer guy. This is our producer Joe. So let's talk. So let's. Oh, hey, what's up, Deshaun?
Yo,
Yeah, hey, just so you know, Deshaun, we've hired the homie. We've hired Joe as our producer. Jay had to step off for a second to handle something real quick. But let's I mean, while we're still talking about it, why don't you give us your thoughts about Forza Horizon 5?
well, I mean, it's a pretty solid game so far, aside from some of the glitchiness that I personally have experienced with my PC, and some of the normal stuff that I guess some of the not some, but a lot of other players are experiencing too. Um, it Since I have an AMD graphics card, I feel as though it's a little hindered because these games are really tailored more towards Nvidia's stuff. With that being said, you know, I don't have any regrets for going full AMD build, but it's a little more tinkering around and setting up and figuring out what's going to work best because you never. It's kind of a gamble either way.
Yeah, and what about connect? We had some issues with connectivity as well.
We did. We did, yeah. Trying to get in a convoy or stay in a convoy. The easiest workaround we found with that was just joining a race and having whoever's in the convoy also join, and then somehow you end up in a session together after a race. So you join that way. Kind of is the only workaround I've seen so far.
Yeah, yeah, it's very interesting. I enjoyed the game a lot, man. Hey, Deshaun, what's going on, man? Talk to us. How you been, man? I wanna know when we're gonna bring you on and talk about the diets that you've been working on and all that food you making, brother.
Oh man, all that food looks so good too. Like I've been checking out his Instagram recently. I'm like, how I gotta make some of the stuff he's making. It just the colors and most of it is just ooh amazing.
Well, as you know, if it has in order for you to if it's gonna be physically appealing, it has to be visually appealing. All right, here we go.
Ooh.
Get out of
I'm
here,
so
Joe.
sorry, dude. Like, dude,
Get out of here,
this
Joe.
is actually funny. Guess what that was? Guess what that was?
What?
Like this, I hear this, dude. I hear this truck. It's like it's not quite a dually, but it's a diesel. Like there's a truck, and he's like idling right in front of my house. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird, whatever. So like I peek out the window, and it's just a dude sitting there. I check out the license plate is freaking Idaho, and I'm like, okay, what's up? So that's why I told you I was like, I need to go outside and check it out, right? So as I walk out, this dude comes through my front gate, and I was like, "Can I help you?" And he's like, "I'm just coming checking out the house for rent." I was like, "Oh." I was like, my landlord must have like listed the because we're moving next month. My landlord must have
Yeah.
listed it, but it's like, yeah, dude, we still live here, dude. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, sorry. Like, there's still people here. I was like, you can check out the yard if you want, but I'm not gonna let you in the house. Like, sorry. He's like, no, I get it. He's like, I didn't realize anybody lived here. Like, I guess my landlord didn't make that very clear. So,
Wow. Yeah.
yeah. Like, yeah,
Hey, so we
like I was debating on having something else in my hand, right? Like, and I was like, but I was like, play it cool. Let's see what's going on first. But sure enough, dude, like apparently it's listed. So, yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, so while you were gone, we actually had Deshaun Myers jump on. He's over there, right? He's in the chat right now. We were just saying, man, he's cooking all this great food. We got to bring him on to talk about it,
Oh, absolutely,
about about
absolutely.
about cooking. I mean, shit. In
I would love,
fact,
to, I would love to have Deshaun on and discuss like a lot of stuff actually. So
Yeah, and while okay, yeah, so while he's typing all that stuff right there, let's Fallout real quick. So we got some news about
Okay.
my fucking favorite fucking video game. I got my Nuka-Cola right here. I'm ready to
Okay.
go.
Fallout.
Fallout, baby.
Fallout.
Fallout.
You're all
Fallout
about
5
Fallout.
is in early pre-development. As said by Todd Howard, the showrunner of Bethesda right now. I couldn't be any more excited about this. The only thing is that when we say early pre-development, the only thing they have is shit written down in a paper of the idea of what they have for the next incarnation of Fallout.
Right.
And the internet's going crazy about this. So many people were going like, what's next? What's going to happen? What are we going to see next? But I want us to finally get the cities that we deserve. London, Fallout Russia, Fallout New York, Fallout Los Angeles. There are stories that need to be told that have not been told yet in the Fallout lore. There's the whole
The
hell
whole
yeah. Ugh.
like
The whole
I can hear the excitement in your voice. Like you're just like the whole you want the whole enchilada, right?
yeah,
You
so
want it
I
all.
mean, I don't even need an
How many hundreds of hours have you spent on Fallout?
too many.
Like hundreds of hours, right?
So to put it into perspective, I've
And you never like 100% it either, right?
one of them I did.
Did you really? Good for you.
I 100% Fallout 3,
Okay.
which was actually my favorite story. It takes place in Washington D.C. The wasteland is called, you go into places like the White House, the Space Museum, the Smithsonian, all these cool things in the game, and then they came up north. Deshaun Mars, stop! Y'all are making me blush. I recently made some pay. Oh, hang on, I'll get to that in a second. Shit, my bad. Fallout is just fucking. We have to do it. We have to have a new
Paleo,
city. Yeah, paleo stuffed bell
paleo
pepper
stuffed
two is
bell pepper too. I read it. I completely read it wrong. My brain like was like freaking shorting out on me. That sounds delicious though. That sounds
you,
delicious.
hold it. Hang on. Let's just settle this now. Deshaun, what are you doing next Sunday?
Oh, there you go.
What are you
Are you
doing
busy?
next Sunday?
Yeah, Deshaun, are you busy next Sunday? Are you busy? Because if you're not, I got something for you to do.
And what? Yeah,
We'll see when he gets back. We'll see
yeah.
when he gets
So
back.
he said want to be famous, bro. So what? Now we're talking. So in Fallout, we need more. We need more guys. So
What are you looking for as a Fallout fan? What are you looking for in the next game? Basically, what's
I'm looking for C-list actors.
okay?
Okay, I'm looking for
Okay.
because there. I don't think there is not any major actor, celebrity, influencer that could do this right.
Okay.
Um, Joe does say they put more effort into the roles, and they do. And I feel like those guys who have more time to play these games will get it a lot more than people who don't have the time to. I mean, unless you're Henry Cavill. If you want to put Henry Cavill in a Vault Boy suit, by all means, blue and gold.
Does it hurt?
Yeah, and like the guy who played Arthur in Red Dead Redemption 2, he would
You need
be,
to lay
you
down.
could bring him in, but what we
Sit
need
up.
is we
Sit
need
up.
a fresh story. The good thing about
Get
Fallout is that
some food
there are
after you're done here. Okay.
the scale of the lore and the game is so vast that you could create stories within stories and not even to be like, okay, but if they throw in
Absolutely.
and
Well,
if they keep in.
Going off of what you're saying, like what Joe just typed to us was kind of like Arthur in Red Dead 2. You know what I mean? Like everything is so vast and the story is so, but at least you've got this set character, right?
Yes.
And it would be central to, I guess, your game, right? Like the game. So
Yeah, and it's like I said, we don't need an actual story from the game, but if you keep the timeline and the lore of certain things that
mhm.
fans like myself will understand, then we're in it. And Joe said earlier in here they're not done with 76, and we know it. 76 is still going on, and it's still a lot of people hate it. I fucking love it. I played the beta like 3 years ago with Joe here when there was no NPCs in the game. There was no non-playable characters. When you went into the game when it first came out, there was no other people except the 11 people that were in the lobby with you, and you
Huh.
had to depend on each other to build the Commonwealth.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah, like our
Yeah, see,
producer's
that
saying
sounds fun.
here,
That sounds like fun to me. So,
and it was. I think it took like a year and a half, and they said, okay, we're putting people into the game now, and
mhm.
it just changed. It was, yeah,
It's entirely
I think.
possible. It's entirely possible. There are games. Joe, our producer, just said that they need to get me into Fallout 76, and there are games, Joe, that are out there that are similar to Fallout and Fallout 76. Red Dead Redemption, like I love Ghost of Tsushima. I love Grand Theft Auto, and Fallout is really not that far from that. You walk around and you kind of meander, and it's that sandbox style. You collect shit and you build shit and you kind of go about your day, right? In the game, it's pretty much the way I've been made to understand it. I've just never played any of the Fallout games. It's like I'm not saying that they're good or bad. Like I know a ton of people that love the shit out of the whole Fallout series. So yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, and while we're talking about,
Absolutely,
yeah, and that.
absolutely, Deshaun. Absolutely, Deshaun. I just saw your message. Yeah, we will link up after the show. We'll slide on up into your DMs there, Deshaun, and we'll see what kind of free time you have next Sunday, right? But yeah, we appreciate that, Deshaun. Thank you. Absolutely. Go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
So we also have in other Fallout news the TV show,
It's
um,
what's that?
the Fallout TV show from
Oh,
Amazon.
they are making a Fallout TV show.
Yes, they are.
Did we already talk about that?
We did when it was first like um, announced.
Okay. So we might have like briefly touched on it. Who was the
Yes. So what's going on here?
who was the actors again? That might jog my
Who are
memory.
so they don't have no? There's no actors involved yet. They
Oh,
have they haven't released who will start. Is that Liam Neeson?
that is Liam Neeson. Oh, and dude, Linda Carter. Fucking Linda Carter, dude.
That said, there would be
She's
some
like
notable names in their
dude,
newest
Linda
recent
Linda Carter is
affirmation.
like the original dude. She's the original Wonder Woman.
Oh shit, that's right. Wait a minute. Liam Neeson was in Fallout 3. Liam Neeson was the father in Fallout 3.
Yeah.
Holy shit, I completely forgot about that. You know what? Come on, Liam.
We
Come
should have
on,
known
Liam.
he was also the father in the Taken series. We totally should have seen that coming. Duh. Duh. Right? My jokes suck.
Yeah. Yeah,
I got all the dad
oh no.
jokes.
Yeah, so just so you guys know, we are going to have our guest with us momentarily. He is a hacker. He will be with us in a moment. But while we're waiting for him to come in, um, I think that's really all the news we have. But yeah, but to go on to talk about Fallout real quick,
Uh-huh.
the same things I want to see in the game in this new game, I want to see in the show. We're talking about a new story. We're talking about you know, uh, talk about scale, man, scale. Okay, we're talking about scale. But the most important thing is what timeline is this going to take place? Where is it going to take place? I personally, I would like to see it in London. Um, yeah,
Yeah. London. Out of all the
London.
places, London. I can
I
I
want to
can
see
dig
it
it.
in.
I can dig it.
Yeah.
So like if you had so like that's your if the Fallout 5, your pick is London. You're hoping you're
Yep.
you're you're crossing
For
your
the
fingers
show,
for like
I would like to see the show take place in London for many reasons. One, a lot of the story does,
oh, you're
even
talking about
though
the TV show. I'm sorry. I
the TV
apologize.
show. Yeah, yeah, no,
I
the TV
apologize. I
show.
thought you
The
were talking about
game,
the video
no.
game. My bad. My bad.
Yeah, no. For the game, I'd like to see maybe New York or Los Angeles.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But for the show, I want to see. the Brotherhood of Steel, which is pretty much the military, and that's that's the military of the Fallout world.
Right.
And I'm trying to make sure I don't break my only Nuka Cola Quantum.
Yeah, don't ever break that.
Yeah.
Don't ever break that. Cool.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean that show's gonna be good.
Hey,
While
well,
we're waiting for
I was gonna say I'm looking forward to hearing from our guests momentarily here. So I guess
yeah, well, uh, okay, yeah, I'm sorry because we're trying to do like three things at the same time, guys.
yeah, no worries.
Um,
No worries.
hey, Joe, can you pull up that video with the boot? Yeah, let's see this real quick, and then
Watch your boot get catapulted off.
officers reach the end of their tour aboard an aircraft carrier. It is a Navy tradition to launch their boots off of the flight deck.
This boot shot was on the USS Kitty Hawk in 1970. Oh, look at that. That's funny.
Woo!
Yay! I wonder if they still do that.
That is insane.
That's funny.
Yeah, so I mean, military traditions. Everyone's got a tradition. Are there any traditions that you saw? Because you were in for 11 years, so there must have been
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. There were some, I guess, traditions or unit traditions that I participated in a few times throughout my career. Sometimes it would be something as simple as a battalion or a brigade run. Okay, which everybody like loves to hate on. You know what I mean? Sometimes for a good reason. But there were other things too, like when they would case or uncase the colors. Like for when you're deploying and preparing to deploy and preparing to return from a deployment, you'll case the colors. And that's one of those things that there's ceremony and it's kind of a there's ceremony involved basically, but it is tradition. But yeah, I mean, I've kind of been around a lot of different Army traditions, I guess. It's kind of hard not to be if you stay in for over a decade, but some are cool, some are not so cool, and others are like, why are we even still doing this? Our producer just said the grog. Yeah, the grog bowl is a tradition. That is absolutely a tradition. So yeah, like
Okay, so for those who don't know what grog is, what is grog?
the grog is basically
I
like it can be anything. It's like it's what you put into the bowl. I remember coming back from my first deployment. We went to our battalion ball, and each company had to put in something into the bowl, basically like that gets stirred around and drank. But one company put motor oil because of their they were like a an engine company or whatever, like, or an engineer company or whatever. Another company put sand from Afghanistan. I think that was my company. Put in sand from Afghanistan. You know what I mean? And like,
Yeah,
and then a bunch of alcohol gets poured on top of that bullshit, and then it gets swished around and fucking drank. Right? At least that's the idea behind it. So, but you don't.
yeah,
Nobody ever actually drinks fucking motor oil. Just they kind of, it's a little sleight of hand going on there. So you're not actually drinking motor oil, right?
yeah.
So
So as a cook, one of the traditions that we had as for getting promoted is, well, we have on our cook weights, we have our ranks on our collars here.
uh-huh.
So they would, you know,
Oh yeah.
yeah, they would pop them right into you. It's kind of like the say that when you get promoted and you get the punch in the.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I
It's
had
like
this great tradition where if I pissed off my NCO, I had to do a lot of push-ups.
that was your tradition, Joe?
Oh yeah, every day.
Deshaun says, what about the yelling of at ease when people are sleeping? Oh my God, dude. People get pissed the fuck off. Pissed the fuck off. Oh, dude, yes. That's fucking
What about
hilarious.
yelling at these? I mean, hey, that's a military red flag, right?
Oh, dude, you just pissed off the whole day. You just pissed off the whole day, you know. So yeah, freaking.
Yeah,
But yeah,
so guys, it looks like we're having some technical difficulties with our guest right now. He actually sent me a picture of what's going on. He is trying right now, guys, and if something has to happen, we
well,
have to,
that's okay.
you know,
If it yeah if he has to come back another day, that's okay too. I don't want to force him to try to wreck his own thing. If he's having technical difficulties, I don't want to rush anything.
it's
Make,
almost like it's almost like the other hackers don't want him to reveal his secrets.
there you go. See, yeah, because we're gonna do a deep dive, aren't we? I do.
we're gonna have to.
I'm not gonna lie. I am kind of looking forward to having him on. I do have a couple of questions. I'm really looking forward to getting his I guess response and answers to because I'm curious about kind of like that world. You know what I mean? It's a whole different kind of it's a subculture and it's a whole different world kind of out there in cyberspace. So yeah, I don't know. Like I'm looking forward
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to hearing from him.
yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate that it's you know that he's not here, but we're gonna figure this out, guys. And it's actually kind of crazy because I'm actually in active contact. I'm talking to him right now, guys. I'm talking to him right now. He actually had a couple things, but while we're at the end of the show, we could still talk about these things. Well, actually, we'll talk about one of them.
What you got?
Uh, Warzone hackers say there's too many cheaters.
Right.
You know, uh, and one thing that I will say with the conversation that I had with Kempo, um, he gave me a very interesting answer on why they do what they do,
Okay.
and he blatantly, and it wasn't like a fuck you. It was a like, because we can, because we
Well, I mean, and that's that and you can say that's a semi nihilistic approach to the question, but it's not necessarily wrong either. I mean,
yeah,
if there are not enough safeguards from the developers of the game to prevent this kind of thing from happening like on a widespread basis, then yeah, like because they can. Why not, right?
yeah.
If it's gonna end up being that easy, you know, I'm not condoning it per se.
Oh,
I'm not condoning it per se, but
oh, wait.
just the philosophy behind it, I can understand where they're coming from. You know what I mean?
Um, guys, he's here. He's here.
Cool. Welcome.
He's here.
Welcome,
Kempo, how are
Kimbo.
you, man?
Welcome. Is he muted?
Oh,
He might be
he's
on the phone.
he's probably working at his audio.
Yeah.
Hey, but if you could hear, I'm not sure if you could hear us.
Just gonna turn into
We
like
had
the
yeah yeah
the Max Headroom hack of the Chicago TV station back in the day. Do you remember that?
yeah.
I
Oh,
think we just
oh
lost.
yeah. Wait, no. Hey, can you hear us, Kempo?
Yes, hello. Can you guys hear me?
Oh,
There he is.
oh shit! There he is.
Welcome,
There he
welcome,
is.
welcome,
What's up,
Kimbo.
man? At least we have you for a couple minutes, man. I appreciate we
Thank you
appreciate
for
you
your
we
time.
appreciate you coming, man. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Um, I can't really hear you guys.
Ah,
That fucking sucks. How well can you hear? Can you hear us, or do you hear us at all? Does,
mm,
does he not hear us at all?
I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties here.
that's
Can you
okay.
guys hear me though?
Yes,
Oh, we
we can
could
hear
we
you.
could
Yes, we can hear you
golden
just
goose,
fine.
man.
You guys sound like you're in slow motion, but
Sweet. good place to be.
Let's hold on here. Okay, say something, guys?
Hello.
How's that?
Yeah, it's horrible, but I can hear you guys. So, what's going on, guys? How you doing today?
How
Good.
you
How are
doing,
you?
man?
Pretty good, pretty good. So,
I think
I go by Kenpo for the most part, and I typically spend my free time just learning cybersecurity and let's just say hacking. I'm gonna stick to the gray hat side of things, but I
okay.
have done a little bit of cheating, let's just say, in a few games such as Call of Duty.
Right.
And
Can you tell me what the process started off like as you were learning cybersecurity and how that developed into basically cheating on Call of Duty, if that makes sense? What was the transition basically?
so essentially, I'd like to clear one thing up as
Sure.
far as the cheating goes in COD. I'm going to speak on my behalf and just say that, yes, I do understand that it is extremely infuriating. Although we do do it for the reasons you guys might think we do.
Which is
Hacking
go
hacking
ahead.
Call of Duty essentially is just doing it because I can. Because being that Call of Duty for me died off a few years ago, I do it for the power I get that I have over the game. And it's just nice sometimes to, be able to challenge yourself and be able to, exploit a game here and there. It's fun to learn, and it's nice to see a couple kids crying because you got aimbot sometimes.
You know, I don't necessarily condone it, Kimpo, but coming from that kind of philosophy, I guess I can't necessarily say you're wrong either. I mean, if the game allows itself to be exploited like that, as you put, um, I don't necessarily agree with it, but I don't necessarily think you're wrong either. If that makes sense. If that makes sense. Um, what type of as you are learning more about cybersecurity, what are you looking at in the next like 3 to 5 years for yourself? Like, are you going to try to go to work for somebody, or are you going to stay freelance? Are you into ethical hacking? You know, those types of things. Like, what are some of your thoughts on that?
Um, for me, I'm not really in it to win. On my part, I would just say I'm more into, competitive games, games that have like, higher skill cap. So I guess that's why, at least the people that I know just do it out of not to like get all camos or just because we're not good, not the best per se, but I would just have to really say that if you guys don't want hackers, tell the developers to do something about it.
Right. I
Because
think. Mhm.
I did hear that Call of Duty sent out a challenge to all the hackers to see if they can try and hack their game. There's so many people already running around with aimbot and Vanguard.
Right.
And as far as doing things against hacking, it's just really voicing the opinion. Like, if you look at all these games today, Warzone, Vanguard, what was that other one? Cold War, for example, the rates are through the roof.
So for you guys then it's that easy for you to get inside basically the game. Is that correct?
So essentially, the way that that works is it's really all just, at least for my case, we use Python. People who are a little bit more experienced tend to use A++, which is a little bit more of a complicated language. Um, but as far as Python goes, literally, it's so simple because you can just tell Python what you want, and then what Python does is really good at putting itself into the system rather than putting forcing itself into the game files. And that's typically how people get caught, is when they try to do a brute force attack on the game's files. The way that it's done properly is it essentially embeds itself into your hardware, such as a antivirus protection. So that's
Okay.
pretty much the way that that would work. So that way, when you start up COD, it will go undetected. So your system will believe that you have all these abilities when in actuality you don't. We call that an injector, which is an executable that is the actual action of shooting the mod menu or whatever it is you're trying to do into the game.
Okay. Got you. Got you.
So, one question I have here: are anti cheats generally hard to crack, or are they fairly easy? Like, how long does it take to generally crack into an anti cheat?
Say that one more time for me.
Oh, sorry, brother. It's how long does it take to crack anti cheat?
You said how long does it take?
Yes.
For me, I took about maybe like 4 months to make this aimbot.
Holy shit.
That's just because I don't know Python. I don't know how to code. I did it to learn the language. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm out, for some malice or vengeance. And the code for Python, that's the reason why I chose Python, because it's very simple. There's so many like things out there on Reddit, on the internet, and
Mhm.
everything that you need for this is out there. The problem is with Python is, or any coding language in general, is that it's very exact, and any mishap that you may do can get you banned. Hence, you would have to make another account, paying
And
another $60 for the game.
right. Yeah. Rinse and repeat. Right. Right. So again, are moving forward, what is next for you? What is next for you in the, I guess, cybersecurity world, as you're learning more of the language and more of coding? Where do you see yourself, and like which direction do you feel like you're sailing right now?
I think
Uh,
he's having. Oh, okay, he's good.
Repeat that one more time for me, please.
What direction do you kind of see yourself sailing in right now in terms of learning cybersecurity and the languages and the coding that you're learning now? Like, where do you see yourself kind of like what direction are you sailing in right now, moving into the future?
I think he may be having some audio difficulties right now.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, yeah. Let's this is what we'll do. We'll be in touch. We'll stay in touch, Kempo. We'll try to get this going again, and we'll see if we could do a pre-record to get something going. We got some great information so far.
Yes.
Um,
Again, and thank you very much for your time as well. Thank you very, very much for your time.
yeah, he's definitely having
Yeah, I was
audio
going to say, I think we
difficulties.
lost. I think we lost him. So
Yeah, that's okay. So this is what we're gonna do. We'll be in touch with them. We're gonna get him back on the show so we could. He just said to me, "I am so sorry."
it's okay. It's totally okay. Not the end of the world. So, but yeah, we
Yeah.
appreciate
So
appreciate having him on. Interesting hearing that side of it. You know what I mean? That's very
Yeah,
that's
definitely
that's
very interesting, especially like saying like, it's like he said, because we can, but it's not to hurt nobody. It's
ideally it's never to hurt anybody, right? Ideally,
yeah,
it's never to hurt
that's
anybody.
true.
But
That's
I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah,
Eh,
we'll have to get him back, and we'll have to do it again. We'll have to
Yep.
try it
Damn,
again.
I had so many fucking notes too.
Okay. We'll get him on again.
Hey,
I think we're gonna have a bunch of part twos coming up, anyways, in season three.
yeah.
We got
And actually, right, right,
we got Ronnie J. We're probably gonna need to hear back from
Mike
my
J.
Mike J. My buddy Chris Bodette. Like, couple some of your guests. We had like Blaze 8 online. Like,
Blaze 8,
we need to
Blaze.
do a rehash with those guys and see how they've been. You know what I mean? We've got we need to do Doc. We need to get Doc back on here. You know,
Yeah, and actually, we're gonna be working on that too, to promote local legends, because I would love to talk to him more about that.
good,
On
good.
top of that, we're gonna try to get Deshaun. We're gonna try to get you on
Yep.
next week, man. We're gonna talk to you like within the next couple minutes. Also, guys, make sure that you check out the link tree, www.linktree.com/dd214. All of our links on there: YouTube, Anchor, Apple, whatever it is. So make sure you like, subscribe, share, and all that good stuff. Next, make sure you use code DD214 for that pump in your dup if you want to see colors. If you need to run a little bit. Oh
Oh,
wait, did he come?
John. It's like
Yeah,
see sounds and like hear colors. Okay,
see sounds and hear colors.
there you go. That's like it's synesthesia, something like that. It's like it's a condition where like your senses get kind of like crisscrossed. So it'd be like seeing color or seeing sounds and like hearing colors. Like, that doesn't make sense, right? Like that'd be like
That's true.
synesthesia, dude. Like, I like to joke that Rogue Energy does that to you because it's basically
It
like an
probably
acid trip, right?
it probably does. And guys, also check out Blaze 8 online for your Delta 8 needs.
Absolutely.
Um, New Jersey and Pennsylvania based. They will ship stuff out to you to wherever you need. Make sure you check them out. And I believe it's my turn this
It
week for the
is.
final thought.
It is.
And yeah, guys, so we're on to another week. We're getting into another season. It's starting to get colder out there. Seasonal depression is a thing. It's happening out there, and it happens to all of us. Like I say all the time, it doesn't discriminate. It doesn't choose the color of your skin. It doesn't choose the type of style of a person that you are, gender, all that stuff. It comes at you, and it takes more than just a bite. It takes a chunk. It takes your whole soul. In saying that, your brothers, your sisters, your best friends, your strangers, everyone needs someone to talk to. So, guys, make sure you hit that number 1-800-273-8255. Again, that is 1-800-273-TALK. You can call them, you can text them. Someone is always there volunteering to hear your story and to be there for you today. If you don't feel comfortable with that, you could always contact us in our social medias. We are always there to answer back for any help that you guys need. You know, Always, guys, every single week. We couldn't be any more grateful for you guys coming in here. Again, season 3 is coming. Season 3 is coming. We got some stuff brewing. We got some guests coming. We are so excited for the future, guys, and we are so happy that you guys are going to be coming with us to the future, because we're all we got. So see you guys next week for another edition. Make sure to swallow the homies good night. You know,
Absolutely.
double make sure you double dip the chip into the sauce.
Yep.
Do
Be as
all
bad,
do
be
it.
as bad as you want to be.
Yeah, be your best version, but don't kill nobody, man. Don't
Please
kill
don't.
nobody.
Please don't add to or subtract from the population, please.
Oh shit. And also, guys, for your pet needs, check out Smokey'sPetPantry.com today. If you need some dog food, some bowls for your pet, that is the place you want to go to. There's no code for that yet, but that is a strong affiliation, guys. Make sure you check it out today. Woof woof.
Today. Now.
Woof woof. Not bang bang. Woof woof. Guys, we love you. Thank you so much. We'll catch you next week.
Yes, sir.